about this a little bit. I'm going to show you a little something here as we go along. But this is the idea of calorie density, just visually. If you have this little thing, olive oil, we're talking about that's such a health food. It's not a health food, but I won't tell you why, because that's the bigger deal.
Why?
I'll tell you about it as we go. But as far as numbers, how many calories are in olive oil?
200.
Do you ever see Rachel Ray cooking on TV?
No.
It's not the lady that got in trouble because they said she was using unorganic food.
I don't know. Rachel Ray is a cook on TV, but every time she gets cooking, she takes the olive oil and dumps all over it. It's called EVO. There's 125 calories in that little tablespoon right here. Now, what I want to show you, this is a number called 500. 500 calories, what I want to kind of present to you. If in our country, there's two things that I look at as far as what is on our fork. Number one is how many calories, because that leads to our obesity problem we have. But also, not just calories, it's nutrition. What's the nutrient value of the food you're eating? This right here is 500 calories. That's butter. If you think of your stomach like this little flask here, they've done studies, and the studies show that we all eat about the same amount of pounds every day. We eat the same pounds. So if your stomach, if this is what goes in your stomach, do you think that fills up your stomach?
No.
It
Nope.
does not fill up your stomach. You wouldn't be very full if you ate that.
That one, they kill you.
There's lots of reasons why there's a problem with that, but I won't go into it. That's 500 calories of cheese. Would that fill you up?
No.
Probably not. And that's a lot of calories for a small package. A little tiny package, lots of calories. I put this out here for one reason. This baked potato is a whole food. And a baked potato, this has maybe 150 calories tops. And it's probably pretty good for you, but what happens to us, the reason we get into problems as far as weight, is we put lots of butter on it, and we top it with lots of cheese, and then we put a lot of sour cream on it.
That's
And so when you get all done, how many calories do you have with that little simple baked potato? You probably have 500 calories for that meal, when you could have got by with 150 calories plus some salsa. That might have been a better way to go. Meat. Meat has lots of calories. It's calorie dense. So in that little package, you've got a lot of calories. Why do these have so many calories? When you look at, you've got three things. You've got fats, you've got proteins, and you've got carbohydrates. Fats have 9 calories per gram. Do you remember that? Calories, grams. Grams is a measure of weight. Proteins have 4. Carbohydrates have 4. So there's lots of calories in a package related to fat, which is what these are, all of them right through here. Rice, 500 calories. Would that start to fill you up a little bit better?
yes.
It probably would. Fruit. We're scared to death nowadays of carbohydrates. I call it carbophobia. My wife is trying to lose weight, and she went to the doctor, and the last thing her doctor said as she went out the door, watch those carbs. Well, the fact is, if you eat whole foods, right there is 500 calories, 3 bananas and 2 apples. That's actually good for you. And what makes these so good is they have lots of fiber. Fiber makes you filled up in your stomach. It makes you feel full because it expands, so it's good for you. There's not any fiber in here. There's no fiber here. There's no fiber here. And the last but not least, there's a guy named Dr. Furman. I love Dr. Furman. And his rule is have 1 salad every day. Now, I looked this up. Now, this right through here is 500 calories. This bag right here of spinach, it has 3 cups is a serving, and there's 20 calories in it. 20 calories is nothing for 3 cups. Well, the study that I read shows that if you have 12 ounces, this is 10 ounces of spinach. If you have 23 cups of lettuce, this isn't even 23 cups. If you have 4 tomatoes, if you have a bell pepper and you have a cucumber, there's 500 calories. What gets us in trouble with salad?
Carbohydrates,
Oh, what's the bad part about salad?
protein.
Not protein. It's if you go back and put olive oil on it, or if you put a bunch of cheese on it, you can take something here that's low calories and has a big package, fills your stomach up. But if you dump a lot of olive oil on it, or if you dump a lot of blue cheese on it, you just double the calories. Does that make sense? So you want to take, what I do is I will use this and I'll put rice vinegar on it. Rice vinegar is no calories. It's got a nice tang to it. And the last one I want to show you. And the point that I'm making here is you move from here, from the higher oils, fats, down through the vegetables and fruits here, you're actually moving to a more healthy direction as far as our problem with overweight. There's a second thing, and it's called nutrition, nutrient value. And that has to do with things called vitamins and things like, have you ever heard of phytochemicals? You know what phyto means, that word phyto? Phyto means plant. Plants have certain chemicals in them that are protective against cancer. They're good for us. They're really good for us. You don't have phytochemicals here, but you have phytochemicals down here. Now the one last thing I want to show you is an example. Anybody like broccoli?
Mm-hmm.
You like broccoli? That right there, how much broccoli would you have to get 500 calories?
One treat.
You'd have to have, with this, you'd have to have 17 cups. There's 30, for 1 cup, there's 30 calories. So if you multiply 17 times 30, that's 510. So you'd have to have about 17 cups of broccoli to have the same amount of this. So the point I'm making is if you want to lower your blood pressure, if you want to have better health, you want to look at this calorie density idea and move this way. Put more vegetables in your diet, more fruit, and when you're cooking, the thing I see about this little thing right here, everybody wants you to saute with olive oil. Dump a bunch of oil in the bottom of the pan and saute. You don't have to. You can put water. I start all my soups, anything I'm cooking with, I put a little bit of water, I put onions and garlic in there. And I can't tell the difference. It still cooks it. So start working back on this, cut this down. Start backing down a little bit on these things and start increasing this over here. Our number one killer in our country among men and women is what? Heart disease. Our number one killer is heart. If you had a heart attack, can you reverse heart disease with artery? Here's your artery, your blood vessel, and it gets all plugged up with clots like this. Can you reverse that?
Before you have the heart attack.
Can you reverse it after you have the heart attack?
No, because once the damage is done, it's done.
Okay, and that's the misinformation. You can take and clear out your arteries, and it's been shown by, there's a Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn from Cleveland Clinic, and he had one of his associates. They did a study in China called the China Study. They took 6,000 people throughout rural China, and they were looking at what they were eating, and they were comparing to what diseases they had. And they made some really interesting conclusions. But Caldwell Esselstyn took their study, and he took patients who had heart disease that was so severe that they were on their last lap. He went to their cardiologist and asked them, can I see those patients that aren't patients who were able to have stents put in? They were very, very at risk of dying. And he had one particular man that was really interesting. He was a surgeon. And he had gone to the doctors, and they said, we can't do surgery. You can't put stents in your artery. Because his artery went like this. Boom. His block was right there. They couldn't do anything surgically, and they just told him, we can't do anything for you. Do you ever hear what an angiogram is? An angiogram is where they can take it's like taking a picture of your artery, and it can show you how the blockages look, how severe your heart disease is. He was so desperate, he went to Dr. Esselton and said, look, this is my situation. And he put him on a diet that included no oils, included most of these things from here, and he reversed his heart disease. They cut this plaque, went back and did an angiogram later on and saw that there was no plaque there at all. It's in the literature, it's all over. But medicine is in a situation where it focuses on pills and procedures, which is great. I'm not against medicine. But my son is at the top of his profession as a physician. I asked Nathan, how much did they teach you in medical school about this idea? They don't learn this. So you've got something here that you can apply numbers to, 500 calories. You can look at these concepts and make your life healthy. And you can live beyond that #1 killer of heart disease.